We are so excited that you decided to make C Street Kids your ministry at Campbell Street. By doing that, it means that you care about the next generation. It means that you want to grow God's kingdom from the ground up. So get this. Each week, we impact around 100 kids that walk through our doors. Those kids go home and impact around 200 other people, their families. That means that what you do each week impacts around 300 people for Christ. That's pretty incredible. Because you are impacting so many people on a regular basis, we feel it's important to know what your mission in C Street Kids is, what we ask you to constantly strive to do, and what things we value that help us make decisions in C Street Kids. So, first of all, let's talk about C Street Kids' mission statement. C Street Kids exists to lead the next generation to become disciples that make disciples. That's what we're doing all the time. Next, I want to talk a minute about C Street Kids' vision statement. This is what we are striving to do every time that we are at church or at an event or anything. So we strive to create a place where every kid feels loved where they are. No matter how much money they have, what kind of family they come from, how many times they've been to Bible class, or how well behaved they are, we want them to feel loved where they are. Also, we strive to see kids growing and connecting in a small group. We think that the best chance a kid may have to personally see God is to get a close-up look at people who follow God. Our best chance at discipling kids is through relationships. We believe that leaders who connect with kids in a small group type environment, which is basically getting to know the kids and their families on a personal level over a period of time, have the potential to make a big impact on the child's faith. We also strive to experience entire families on fire for God. We encourage Bible study and growth at home in the family unit, and we try to do everything we can to equip families to do that. Finally, we strive to launch kids into the next phase, ready to fuel their passion for God. So whether we are launching a child from the 2-year-old class to the 3-year-old class or the 5th grade to the middle school, we want them to be ready and excited to find their place in God's story. Now let's talk about C Street Kids' core values. This is basically what we use to make decisions through. First of all, we value making the Bible real to kids. The Bible is not just made up stories. It's all true, and we are part of God's big story. The Bible is about our kids' lives, and as leaders, we are trying to help our kids see this. Next, we encourage parent involvement. This does not mean that parents have to volunteer in children's ministry, although we would appreciate that. But we encourage our parents and guardians to be involved in their child's spiritual formation, and we will do everything we can to make that happen. Finally, we value relationships between leaders and kids. We feel that kids need another voice in their lives besides their parents giving them spiritual encouragement. Therefore, our leaders are more than just Bible teachers. Each leader is a mentor for their group of kids. In C Street Kids, we use the orange strategy to accomplish our mission and strive for our vision while keeping our core values in place. The orange strategy connects parents and leaders with the same strategy and same end goal in mind. Orange takes two influences in a kid's life, the church and the family, and puts it together. The church is represented by yellow because it's here to turn a light onto God for the world. The family is represented by red because it exists, even in its imperfection, to display the heart of God to every generation. We believe when you combine these two influences, you have a greater impact on a child. This is the orange strategy. So now that you know what we do in C Street Kids, we have a challenge for you. We ask you to be an owner instead of a renter. Owners think differently about their homes than renters. Owners generally invest more money up front, so their investment will pay off. They go the extra mile. They generally care more, do more, and execute more. Owners generally do all of this with more passion than a renter does. A renter understands if they invest money in this property, there will be no return on their investment. So why would they do anything to it? The same principles related to owning and renting a home can be applied to volunteering in a ministry. Your investment in the kids and families that you minister to will pay off because you are encouraging the future church. So here's some characteristics of volunteers who rent. They show up for 3 weeks and never show up again. They arrive right on time just to get the work done instead of arriving early so that they are able to greet kids and families. They look at themselves being in the classroom as just a warm, knowledgeable body in the room to keep the kids busy while parents are in class. Also, they don't know parents of kids in their class or group, what the kids in their class are interested in, or anything else about the kids in their class or group. But here's characteristics of volunteers who own. They commit to invest in the lives of a few each week. They show up consistently and on time. They are prepared for their class, large group or small group. They pick up trash when they see it on the floor. They believe deeply in what they are doing, so deeply that they lose sleep about the kids they lead. So deeply that when the thought of coming in to serve on a weekend enters their minds, their hearts start to beat a little bit faster. Volunteers that are owners are passionate about what they are doing, believing that the best way for a kid to know God is to know someone who loves God. We ask you to be an owner this year and help make C Street Kids a great place for our children and families at Campbell Street.